The annual gala of the Young Entrepreneurs Association was held in the magnificent ballroom of the Grand Aurora Hotel. Crystal chandeliers sparkled above, their reflections dancing across soaring glass walls, turning the entire hall into a shimmering sea of light. The most powerful figures in finance, technology, and the arts were all in attendance. On the endless red carpet, reporters jostled for the perfect shot, camera flashes flickering like stars. Ethan, in a sleek black tuxedo, looked every bit the successful man he was. Yet his gaze never strayed from the woman walking beside him. Tonight, Bianca was far from the image she carried in the office. She wore a sapphire blue evening gown that hugged her slender waist, its flowing hem brushing the floor with every graceful step. Her fair skin glowed under the lights, her hair swept into an elegant updo, revealing her delicate shoulders. In that moment, Ethan realized, this woman was not only his wife, she was a queen in her own right. The ceremony began with solemn speeches. One by one, the awards were announced. The atmosphere grew more intense as the MC revealed the most prestigious category, Young Entrepreneur of the Year. Bianca's name rang out, and the entire hall erupted in thunderous applause. Bianca stepped onto the stage, her confident smile tinged with emotion. She accepted the crystal trophy from the chairman of the association and then stood before the microphone. Her voice echoed, steady yet resolute, "Thank you to everyone who has walked with me on this challenging journey. I believe that success comes not only from vision but also from faith and the courage to overcome adversity." From the VIP section, Ethan's eyes never left his wife. In her voice, he heard not only the pride of a young businesswoman but also the strength of a woman who had walked through darkness to stand here today. Right after the award presentation, the stage was handed over for a special performance. Arya Lynn, the rising star once entangled in scandal with Ethan, appeared under the spotlight. She wore a flowing white gown, microphone in hand. The hall fell silent as the music began. The song "Light in the Darkness" started, Arya's clear yet soulful voice filling the air. Lyrics about pain, betrayal, and redeeming light hushed the audience. Many quietly speculated that the song hinted at the recent scandal, but Arya sang with all her heart, as if declaring her innocence through every note. Ethan glanced at Bianca. She sat calmly, without a trace of jealousy or doubt. Instead, her eyes shone with serenity and pride. She trusted him completely, and that trust tightened Ethan's throat with emotion. When Arya finished on a soaring high note, the hall erupted in applause. Yet Ethan didn't clap right away. He was still watching Bianca, the woman glowing like a star all his own. Deep down, Ethan chuckled silently. That day in Sedona, Bianca had believed she was cursed, forced to abstain to survive. But now, seeing her standing at the pinnacle of brilliance, he realized, perhaps he was the one who had bewitched her heart. A spell not meant to destroy, but to bind, to make her love him endlessly. As the gala drew to a close, fireworks lit up the night sky beyond the glass windows. Ethan squeezed Bianca's hand gently. She tilted her head toward him, her eyes tender and proud. In that moment, amidst the clamor of the world, they both knew, they were no longer just a couple bound by an arranged marriage, but two souls who truly belonged to one another. On their wedding night, Ethan sat on the wide bed draped in white sheets, his heart pounding like that of a young man tasting adulthood for the first time. All his friends had told him this would be the most unforgettable night of his life, the moment a man truly feels the bliss of marriage. He had been waiting for this moment for so long, waiting to hold his new wife, Bianca, the elegant, intelligent woman who carried an air of mystery that both captivated and awed him. But that excitement was quickly doused like a bucket of cold water. Bianca did not sit beside him as he had imagined. She stepped out of the dressing room in a delicate silk gown, her deep eyes shining with determination. Her voice was calm but firm. "Ethan, I have to tell you something important. According to the spiritual master my family trusts, our marriage will only last and lead to success if you, remained celibate for 2 years. Ethan chuckled, thinking his wife was joking. But when he saw the seriousness in her gaze, the smile froze on his lips. 2 years? How could a young, healthy man, who had just married, possibly accept something so absurd? He thought perhaps she was testing him, testing his patience. But Bianca did not waver. "This isn't what I want," she continued, her voice trembling slightly but never weak. "It's something I must do. If we break this vow, everything will fall apart." Ethan tried to argue, tried to persuade her, but Bianca only shook her head gently. She gave no further explanation, no chance for him to pull her back. That night, instead of beginning their married life in sweetness, Bianca packed a few personal belongings and left. The only thing she left behind was a small envelope. Inside was an AMX Centurion black card, a symbol of immense wealth and power. A short note accompanied it: "Use this. But don't forget the promise." The wedding suite sank into a heavy silence. Ethan sat motionless on the bed, one hand gripping the black card, the other clutching the sheets, caught between shock and anger. A night that should have marked the start of a burning love had turned into a brutal test he had never prepared for. From that moment, Ethan entered a strange marriage, a wife who had vanished, and a husband left behind with a black card and a cryptic promise of a successful future. 2 years passed since that surreal wedding night. Ethan still remembered vividly the emptiness of that cold room, when Bianca walked away leaving him only the Centurion card and a vague vow. At first, he felt betrayed, as if his marriage were nothing but a bizarre play. But time transformed his rage into focus. If he could not have his wife by his side, he would wield the tool she entrusted to him, the black card, to forge a future worthy of both of them. Ethan threw himself into work with relentless intensity. That card not only unlocked a world of luxury but also opened doors to high society, connections he had never dreamed of accessing before. From a young entrepreneur armed only with ambition and bold ideas, he rapidly rose to prominence in finance and real estate. Success followed success. Newspapers called him the rising star of a new generation of entrepreneurs. But amid the glittering parties and billion-dollar contracts, Ethan always felt an emptiness he could never fill. He had everything: power, wealth, fame, everything except what a husband should truly have, the companionship of his wife. Bianca had vanished. From time to time, rumors of her surfaced somewhere: a fleeting silhouette at a gala in Europe, a whispered mention in the upper circles about the mysterious woman with ties to spiritual masters. Yet Ethan never once had the chance to meet her face to face. For 2 long years, he waited patiently, partly because of the promise, partly because of a gnawing curiosity tangled with desire. Deep down, he often wondered, did Bianca truly believe in the words of that spiritual master, or had it only been an excuse to leave him? On the exact day of their 2-year anniversary, an envelope arrived at Ethan's office. The handwriting on the cover was achingly familiar, the same script he had once seen on the note left behind on their wedding night. His heart clenched as he tore it open. "Ethan, the time has come for us to meet again. Are you ready to step into the next chapter?" No explanation. No clear address. Only an invitation to a private gathering of the elite. Ethan stared at the card, a storm of emotions raging inside him. 2 years of trial had transformed him from a dreamer into a man hardened, resilient, and powerful. But before Bianca, would he still have the courage to face the truth? That night, Ethan put on a meticulously tailored suit, his eyes burning with determination. He wasn't just searching for the wife who had abandoned him, he was searching for the answer to a mystery that had haunted him for 2 years. When he entered the lavish hall bathed in golden light, Ethan immediately sensed something different. The atmosphere was refined, dignitaries and magnates exchanging polite conversations, but among them all, his eyes fixed on one figure alone. She appeared like a sudden breeze, long hair cascading freely, calm eyes laced with a trace of pride, lips curved into a smile that was half enigmatic, half gentle. The woman radiated a presence Ethan had never encountered before, mature, magnetic, and utterly irresistible. His heartbeat faltered. But what stunned him most was when she stepped closer and softly spoke, "Ethan, it's been a long time." Ethan froze. His lips trembled, but no words came. The woman before him was Bianca, his wife, the one who had disappeared 2 years ago. Yet why did she feel like a stranger, Bianca? He finally managed, his voice unsteady. She smiled, as if she understood all the shock reflected in his eyes. "It's me. But perhaps, these 2 years have changed us both." Ethan opened his mouth, ready to speak, but Bianca silenced him with a piercing look. "Before you blame me, let me say this, I know everything that has happened these past 2 years. He froze. The parties with those TikTok models. The outrageous spending on influencers you called media partners. Even that time you threw tens of thousands of dollars just to get on the cover of some online magazine. I know everything." The room seemed to tilt. Ethan drew a deep breath, trying to keep calm, but cold sweat beaded on his forehead. For a fleeting moment, he considered every possible excuse, then finally admitted, "I did all of that because I missed you. Without you, I felt empty. Those things were just foolish ways to fill the void you left behind." Bianca stared at him, silence stretched like a taut string about to snap. Ethan thought it was over. But then, a faint smile curved on her lips. "I know. And maybe I was too cruel for leaving you alone. If you're guilty for losing your way, then I'm guilty for letting you." A warmth swelled inside Ethan's chest. He reached out and gently held her hand. "Then, let's give us another chance. This time, I won't let you go." Bianca nodded softly. In that moment, the cracks that seemed impossible to mend began to heal. Beneath the dazzling lights and the soft music, Ethan and Bianca found each other again, not as strangers, but as husband and wife learning how to love once more. That night, when only the two of them remained in the lavish penthouse, Ethan still couldn't believe Bianca had truly come back. He poured 2 glasses of red wine and handed one to her. She accepted it, sat down on the pristine white sofa, her eyes dim as though battling with herself. "Ethan," Bianca's voice trembled in a way he had never heard before. "There's something I've been hiding from you, and now I can't anymore." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" Bianca took a deep breath, her slender fingers tightening around the wineglass. 2 years of abstinence. It wasn't just some silly, spiritual advice. It was a real curse. A curse that clung to me in Sedona, during a deal you never knew about. Ethan's brows furrowed as he leaned slightly closer. "A curse? Bianca, what are you talking about?" That day, her voice lowered, "My father and I joined a land investment in Sedona. Our partners were a tribe with mystical traditions. We broke a sacred taboo, signing a contract on their holy ground. One of their shamans cursed me. He said, if I let desire rule me before completing 2 years of purity, my body would be destroyed, and my soul scattered." Ethan's eyes widened, his grip on the glass so tight it almost shattered. "God, that's why you left? That's why you abandoned me?" Bianca gave a faint nod, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I couldn't risk it. You're too passionate, too intense, and if you hadn't known the truth, I knew you wouldn't be able to stop yourself. I chose to walk away, to keep us both safe." In that moment, Ethan felt both anger and heartbreak. He tightened his grip on her shoulders, staring straight into her eyes. "You should have told me. We could have faced this together." "I was afraid," Bianca whispered. "Afraid you would look at me with pity. Afraid of losing you, even while you were still by my side." "But Ethan," her voice suddenly grew fervent, "the truth is, I've loved you since before all of this began. Our marriage wasn't some cold arrangement. I found a way to marry you because I wanted to. Ethan's heart seemed to stop for a beat. He froze, then let out a rough, broken laugh, tinged with emotion. So, all this time, you truly wanted to be with me? Bianca nodded. I've waited 2 years for this moment. Today, the curse is over. I'm free. And we're free. Ethan could no longer hold back. He pulled her into his arms, kissing her silky hair. The entire world outside seemed to vanish, leaving only the two of them clinging to each other, filling the emptiness that the past 2 years had carved between them. Bianca, he whispered hoarsely, I don't need the black card, or fame, or power. I only need you. From this moment on, you're not a vague promise, you're my wife, truly. In Ethan's embrace, Bianca nodded softly, her eyes shining with serenity. For the first time in years, she felt no fear. They had broken the curse, overcome every trial, and finally become husband and wife, not just on paper, but with their hearts and souls intertwined. Happiness seemed to bloom at last. Bianca lived in a lightness she hadn't felt in so long, freed from the weight of the curse. Ethan, for the first time in years, allowed his guarded heart to finally rest. But their bliss did not last long before the storm struck point one morning. As Bianca prepared for a charity meeting with the city's high society ladies, her phone buzzed nonstop. Dozens of messages poured in, attached with blurred photos. Ethan walking side by side with Arya Lynn, a young singer and actress, the rising star of Hollywood. Is Arya Lynn's glittering career secretly backed by wealthy sugar daddy, CEO Ethan Blackwell? Scandal, Ethan betrays his wife, rumored to have been with Arya Lynn for years? Sensational headlines exploded across the internet. Paparazzi released a series of photos of Ethan and Arya attending events together, edited and spliced with suggestive details. A grainy clip showing Arya resting her hand on Ethan's arm sent the public into a frenzy. Her personal assistant called an alarm. Madam, the media is spreading news that Mr. Ethan is having an affair. Even the shareholders are beginning to stir. Bianca, surprisingly calm, ended the call with a faint, bitter smile. In her heart, she knew one thing clearly: Ethan might be stubborn, quick-tempered even, but he was not a man who would betray her. That evening, when Ethan came home, he froze at the sight of the dining table littered with tabloid papers. His face darkened. I swear to you, Bianca, this is all lies. I did invest in Arya's career, but only as a business project. I never crossed the line. Bianca stepped forward and placed her hand over his. I trust you. The short sentence was enough to make Ethan's heart tremble. She continued, this rumor isn't just some fabricated gossip. It's orchestrated too perfectly. Paparazzi don't just appear at the exact right time and place. Someone is pulling the strings, trying to destroy us. Ethan frowned, a sharp glint flashing in his eyes, the look of a seasoned businessman. It could be a competitor. Or remnants from Sedona. I can't rule out the possibility that the one who cursed you hasn't given up yet. Bianca nodded, a vague sense of dread rising inside her. But instead of trembling, she felt more determined than ever. I'll find out the truth myself. I won't let anyone tear us apart. In the days that followed, Bianca began her quiet investigation. She sought out Arya Lynn backstage after one of her shows. Arya flinched slightly at the sight of Ethan's wife standing before her. Yet instead of jealousy, Bianca's smile was calm and composed. Miss Arya, Bianca's voice was soft but carried undeniable authority, I don't blame you. I only want to know, who made you an unwitting pawn in this scandal? Arya froze. In the glow of the stage lights, a flicker of fear passed through her eyes. She didn't answer, avoiding Bianca's gaze. But that alone was enough. Bianca understood immediately. Someone was manipulating Arya from the shadows. As she walked away, Bianca knew one thing with certainty: the real battle had only just begun. And the mastermind behind this game could be even more dangerous than any curse. Piece by piece, the clues Bianca gathered began forming a clear picture. After the Arya Lynn scandal, one name repeatedly surfaced in the paparazzi's payment records: Leo Vance, once Ethan's close friend in the business world. On the surface, Leo was polished and charming, a promising investor. But Bianca knew he carried a deep resentment at always being overshadowed by Ethan. For years, Leo had smiled in public, while secretly longing to watch his friend fall. One evening, Ethan and Bianca attended a high society charity gala. The atmosphere was elegant, crystal chandeliers scattering light across the grand hall. But Bianca never let her guard down. Her instincts told her danger was near. While Ethan was conversing with shareholders, Bianca noticed Leo holding a glass of red wine. He approached Ethan and Arya, who had just arrived as a surprise guest. Bianca's eyes narrowed as she caught a subtle movement. Leo dropped something clear into the glass. Her heart pounded. Without thinking, Bianca rushed forward. "Ethan, don't drink it," she shouted. The entire room turned in shock. Ethan froze, the glass just inches from his lips. In a flash, Bianca knocked it from his hand. The red wine splattered across the marble floor, the glass shattering as whispers of scandal rippled through the crowd. Leo pretended to be surprised. "Bianca, what are you doing?" But in Bianca's eyes, there was only determination. She pointed directly at him. "There's a drug in this glass. You planned to harm Ethan and Arya, then let the paparazzi capture their disgrace, didn't you?" The air grew suffocatingly tense. Ethan clenched his fists tight. He had heard the rumors, had his suspicions, but seeing Leo exposed with his own eyes still made his heart ache. The friend who once shared the struggles of building a company with him was now revealed as the traitor. Leo gave a cold, dismissive smile, trying to regain composure. "You think anyone will believe you? You have no evidence. This is just your imagination." Ethan said nothing. He only gestured for the security guards to restrain Leo. Then, picking up another glass of wine, he placed it coldly in front of his former friend. "If there's nothing in it, then go ahead, drink it all." Leo's face changed color. You suspect me?" "Not suspect," Ethan replied, his voice as sharp as a blade. "I'm certain." Under the watchful eyes of hundreds, Leo trembled. He tried to resist, but the guards held him firm. The glass was pressed to his lips, and the dark red liquid forced down his throat. Seconds later, his body faltered, sweat streaming down his face. He collapsed, panic flashing in his eyes, his guilt fully revealed. Guests erupted into noise, and the journalists' cameras captured everything. The truth was laid bare on the dazzling stage of the gala. Leo Vance was the one who had orchestrated the schemes, hired the paparazzi, and plotted to destroy Ethan's reputation at all costs. Ethan stepped forward, looking down at his old friend trembling on the floor. In his eyes, there was no anger left, only contempt. "Leo, for years I treated you as a brother. Yet you chose betrayal, chose filth in exchange for fleeting glory. Too bad, you've destroyed everything with your own hands." The guards dragged Leo out amid a storm of whispers. Investors immediately cut ties, and Leo's company stocks plummeted that very night. A man once hailed as a rising star in finance had, within hours, lost his reputation and every opportunity. After the gala, Ethan clasped Bianca's hand, his eyes still holding traces of pain. "If it weren't for you, I would have fallen into his trap. Bianca, I owe you more than I can repay." Bianca smiled softly, placing her hand on his chest. "We're husband and wife, Ethan. There's no debt between us. I only followed my heart, the heart that wanted to protect the man I love." Ethan pulled her into his arms beneath the glittering night lights. In that embrace, Bianca knew, from now on, no matter what enemies awaited, they would face them together.